Hi everybody, I'm Izzy the Tiger, and welcome back to the second episode of my survival series. Now, in the last episode, I showed you around my first base. And to be quite frank with you, I thought there'd be more to show you. I didn't realize how small this base actually was. But no matter. In this episode, we're going to travel to my main compound, and I'm going to show that to you. So, it's nighttime out, as you can see, but I have my world currently set to peaceful. And I could tell you that the reason for that is so that it's a nice relaxing experience, and that's part of it. But the primary reason is because I get very animated when I battle the monsters. I get very into it, and if it doesn't go my way, that's not something that people really need to hear, especially in a relaxing video. So that's the primary reason. I'll be straight up with you. But I think maybe we'll just go to sleep. Then we don't have to worry about monsters. Well, we don't have to worry about them anyway, but you know what I mean. Recently, in Relaxing ASMR's realm, we had a survival night. And during those survival nights, sometimes I get separated from the pack. And that's exactly what happened. And I stumbled into a cave system that was very violent and very hostile. And I was wearing diamond armor with every conceivable protection enchantment applied to it. And I got dealt so much damage by skeletons and zombies that when I came out of those caves and rejoined up with Relaxing ASMR and the rest of the party, my chest plate and leggings were gone. And I didn't notice that until the video came out. So it's daytime now, and we're going to take the land bridge to my current compound. And there really isn't much to talk about along the way, so I'll probably just be quiet, and you can check out the scenery. I'll point out, if there's something along the way that's of note, I'll point it out to you, but most of this journey will be silent. And the land bridge is sorted by torches, so we'll just get up. Straight ahead you can see a dirt tower, and that's the beacon tower. It's not a real beacon, but there's a light on top, and that marks the halfway house between my first base and my compound. I call that Lilac Lodge. More on that when we get closer. So here is the Lilac Lodge. It's very simple. Just consists of this small little... It's literally just a place to sleep. I will tell you a story though. Right out here was probably the scariest battle of my Minecraft career, and it was early on. It was against a witch. And the witch hit me with some sort of potion, some sort of harming potion. And my hearts were down to half of one. So I ran back into this house, or this base, or this shack, and I recuperated. But the witch was in my way, and I needed to get past her. So I did the only thing I could do. I ran out with a stone sword, it was all I had, and I hacked her to death with it. And it took a long time. Probably 3 minutes. And she almost killed me. But I finished her. To those of you who are thinking about maybe trying to battle a witch in survival mode, I highly do not recommend it. So this is all that there is inside, just a crafting table, furnace, and a chest. And a bed in the basement. Now this door leads to that big crazy tunnel that I dug. And maybe I'll show you that tunnel in a future video. And yes, I forget who made that comment about me, that I should be burned for using buttons on a wooden door, but yes. I was always a fan of making life easier for myself. And if I didn't have to close the door behind me, well... So you can see the landscape starting to change. We're getting very close to my compound. So there's the dirt tower marking the halfway point, and the base, the old base, is in that direction. And over here is my compound. You'll see it in a minute once we get around this bend. Not a bad first view. So I have another dirt beacon tower marking this spot. And there's that tunnel. And there might be a bit of lag. I haven't been back here for a while, so please let. So here we are at my main compound. This was once just a small little outpost, not much larger than that halfway point. And I had a farm here, and still do have a farm here. But I never intended to settle here. It just sort of happened. Now this is a retention pond. It used to be a fishing pond, but I've since made a fish farm. So let's just go in through the front door, and I'll show you around. Twin gates, so I could walk by here at night without triggering any creepers that are outside. So here we are inside the walls of the compound. And here is the well. And a few dogs. And a little blacksmith shop. And over here is my main house. Now it's grown a little bit over the last couple of years, but it's still pretty much the exact same layout as it was when I originally built it. Now you can see this area here is basically the same as it was when I built it as a small little outpost. It started out as just this single room, and I had a bed down here. And that's all it was, and I gradually expanded it. So this serves as a lobby now. And up here is my bedroom. And this is exactly how it was when I built it in 2017. Nothing's changed. And it's a pretty cozy room. I have a fireplace in the corner. It still uses netherrack. I haven't put a log fireplace in there yet. I might get around to doing that. And you can kind of look out through the windows and see what's going on. I don't ever have to worry about any monsters spawning inside the walls. I've only had one instance of a skeleton spawning in here very, very early on. But nothing can spawn in here. So let's go up to the roof. Well, let's go up to the observation deck and give you a bit of a layout, an idea of how things are laid out. So here we are, up at the top. That's west, north, east, and south. And we came from that direction over there, where the original base is. Now, this area here, I built a village here. And it's very populous. There's probably 20 villagers living in that little village. And I brought them all by boat and piston staircase from a village that had almost all been wiped out by zombies way over there, like 300 or 400 blocks in that direction. And there were only 2 villagers left there. So I brought them back here and built a villager hut, which is basically a room with a bunch of doors. And over time they bred and created new villagers. And I needed villagers for my iron golem farm. And I just kept the villager hut around and started trading with the villagers inside of it. And once I got the villagers for my iron farm, I decided that the villagers deserved better than a small cobblestone shack. So I built this village and walled it in. There used to be a mountain here, almost the same size as that one, and I leveled that entire mountain with TNT. It was a big job, but it looks a lot better now. And I'll take you down there in a bit. The nether brick roof that you see there, that's my drawing room, and I have a big fireplace in there. Over there you can see some beats through the glass. If you've watched Relaxing ASMR's videos, you'll have seen his underground farm. Now I dug out a massive room inside that mountain for my, I guess it's not technically an underground farm, but it's an inside the mountain farm. That just doesn't have the same ring to it. So I call it my underground farm. And this giant box, some of you may recognize as what I call a monster flush. Mobs spawn inside this box, and I can flush them into a small little glass box where I can kill them safely from, and hoppers collect the loot. So maybe I'll take you over to the original compound and show you that, and we'll just kind of work our way across. So here is my dark oak garden, and it started to rain. Being peaceful, nothing will be in here if I turn it on. But basically you just flip that switch and lots and lots and lots of monsters drop into here. And I can kill them from complete safety. It's a great way to get XP, and not to mention everything they drop. This room here is one of my storerooms. It's my original storeroom. And everything that you can imagine is kept in either this one, that one, or the one below us. So, for instance, this wall I've got all sorts of wood and trees. I got birch, acacia, jungle, dark oak, oak and spruce. Lots of oak saplings. And along this wall, lapis lazuli, redstone. I store my redstone in block form. I tried storing it in dust form, but I had like 5 or 6 chests full of it, so I figured I'd condense it all into block form, so I didn't have lots and lots and lots of chests full of dust. Same thing with coal. I try to maintain full chests of everything so that I'm not always having to replenish them. That's close to being full, so I think we can just leave that alone. And then over here I keep iron and various other supplies, chests, furnaces, crafting tables. Over here is where I keep all my food. So, seeds and wheat, sugarcane, sugar. Every food item in Minecraft has a chest in this room. And some chests are pretty full. Like my... well, not that one, but... full chest of potatoes. And then down this staircase here is my other storeroom. And here is where I keep a lot of the things that I mine for. Got some gold in this chest, and that's overflow. Nether materials. Some diamonds, some emeralds. I don't have any emeralds. I usually tend to trade all my emeralds away relatively quickly. And flesh. Lots of... here's the funny thing. I didn't make a single one of these bows. All of these bows I obtained as drops in my XP farm. And I repaired them, and I have another almost full chest of bows, so... Through the window there, you can see my original killing zone. It's a room I dug out that I can stand... well, actually, I'll take you over there and show you. Through this door is my Minecart Terminal. And I have many different outposts serviced by many different lines. And some of these lines are very long. And I'm not going to take you into any of the mines in this video, because it would just take too long showing you the compound. And I highly doubt that any of you would want to spend 2 hours sitting here watching a Minecraft video, so I think I'll tackle those in the next video. But through here is the killing zone. And the monsters spawn in this room. And I stand behind one of these windows and get their attention. And they come up. And I kill them. And there are hoppers under here that collect all the loot. And all I need to do to get them to spawn is to turn the lights off. And obviously change it to normal mode. So if there's something that's dropped inside that room that is further back, I could just turn the lights on and kill the monsters and run in and get those items safely. Now here is the killing theater. I can just stand in front of the window and kill, kill, kill. And over here is a ladder that leads up to surface. There's kind of a back way out. So through this door, just down there is a mine, or multiple mines. And then up this staircase brings you right back into the lobby. See, I built this compound not to look good, but to function as a survival base. So I made the multiple use of the space that I have here. So everything is built like a layer cake on top of each other. So I've got layer on layer upon layer upon layer of usable space. Here is my brewing / enchanting room. There's a glass ceiling, so you can look up and see the outside world. A couple brewing stands. And I keep random items in these chests. So like, I've got some potions in this one. Enchanted books. And random items. I tried to style this room along the same lines as Relaxing ASMR's Enchanting Room, with the alternating red and blue blocks and the dark colors. This door just leads back into that storeroom that we were just in. It's kind of the main way to access it. And this is just another way to get out. So I've shown you basically everything on this side, apart from all the rooms underground, and we'll get to those. Actually, there is one room I didn't show you. Through here is my furnace room, where I smelt and cook everything. Here is that storeroom we were just in. And there's another storeroom down here as kind of an auxiliary storeroom. So I have a lot of stuff. So I keep an ender chest here. And then this is kind of a creative way that a creative light post that I built to light up this entire area. And this is my drawing room, complete with a nice fireplace and some bookshelves. And this connects up with my bedroom. I guess I can show you what's on the roof. There isn't much, but it all kind of joins up. Here, so just there we go. this is a redstone door, and I use this when I go somewhere on horseback. I can ride out, flip the switch, and seal up the compound. And if any of you have watched relaxing ASMR's videos, you'll recognize this structure as a battle trench, where I can be inside this trench and kill the monsters, and they can't get me. So close this door. This area here is where I like to kill skeletons from. I can stand in front of this gate and get their attention, and as soon as I have their attention, I block the arrow and shuffle behind this glass window. And what the skeletons do is they circle right in front of the gate. So I slide sideways with the shield up, block the arrow, and swipe them, and move quickly back. And I repeat that 2 or 3 times, and the skeleton's dead. And I could just step out and pick up his bones and whatever else he drops. And here's a door back into the compound that comes out right in front of the drawing room. So down here is, well, here's a room with the redstone for the door. And, you know what, I'll take you through here first, because this is kind of like a one-track type of thing. In this addition to my compound, I have lots of jungle trees. And I planted all these jungle trees after I went on an expedition to find a jungle. And that was a big deal for me because, you know, my jungle base is probably about an hour's walk from this compound, or an hour's boat ride from this compound. It's a long ways away. And when I finally found a jungle, I was so happy to be able to grow jungle trees and watermelons that I just came right back here and planted a bunch of them. And over time, I built this kind of a tree fort, if you will. And it really doesn't serve any purpose other than it's just pretty cool. So I can climb up here and look out. So you can see the land bridge over there. And a pretty good view of the compound skyline. Guess we can go all the way up and just kind of sit here for a second. Since we're in that mountainous area, when you get high enough, it starts to snow, which is really relaxing, at least to me. As you've noticed, around my walls, I've cut grooves in them so that I can walk around the wall. I did the same all the way around my main wall. And it allowed me to light up the wall very effectively. So we'll just go back down here. Here's a door that leads back into the area by the XP farm. And that just leads to another battle station. So here's the battle trench, or one of the battle trenches. So I can stand in here and kill monsters and they can't get me. And it branches off that way, and we're just gonna go up here for a second. Let you guys take a look. Come up here. I have a mountaintop lookout point from up there. It's kind of neat. But in here is my, for lack of a better term, underground farm. And I have an automatic wheat dispensing machine here based on an Avomance design. And I have, well, every type of food that you can grow in Minecraft. I've got wheat and beets and carrots and potatoes and sugar cane and nether wart along this wall. And pumpkins. And over here you can see some watermelons. And at the back, cocoa beans. And out there you can see my tree farm. That's where I grow primarily oak trees that whenever I need wood, I can come out here and cut them down. I have a lot of wood on reserve, but if I ever need some, I have some. So this is a pretty big room. From end to end, you can see. I have these structures that are like in case an Enderman was able to spawn in here, I could stand inside here and kill him from complete safety. Relaxing ASMR has one of these in his underground farm, so I only figured it was fitting for me to have, well, 7 or 8. It was originally just one, but as I kept expanding this room, I figured I'd space them evenly so I didn't have to make a mad dash for the closest one. Down there is a door that leads to a very long tunnel to the West Plains. And I have a mining outpost on the West Plain, along with an iron farm that uses villagers to spawn iron golems, and then drops them into a waterfall, and they get their heads set on fire by lava, and they drop their iron into a hopper line that empties into a chest. Pretty good way to get iron. Not as good as mining it, but still half decent. Through those doors is that crazy long tunnel back to my main compound. Or not main compound, my old base, sorry. Here's a door that leads to my, well, one of my main mining operations. I don't use this door anymore. I have a minecart that services it. This is from the old days. Throughout my tunnels that are 3 blocks high, I have these little tunnels at regular intervals, so that if an ender was to spawn inside the tunnel, I could get in here and kill him. Talk about being paranoid. So this just leads up to that tunnel back into the this area here where that skeleton fighting station is up there. I have a lot of doors to nowhere. I'm starting to notice that. So here's a few signs that tell you where things are. So this way are the fish and feather farms, the long pond that I use for fishing, the lobby, the cellar, the dungeon, a cave system that I've since cleared, the art gallery, and the old slime room that I used to use for spawning slimes. I've since created a slime farm. Not at this location, but so that's a door to a stairway and another doors to nowhere. And this leads back up to, you might remember this area, this lobby area. Down here is my fish farm. Now, I built this in, I think, version 1. Early 1.3, I think. It was right after the aquatic update. I'm not sure if it still works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but basically I take a fishing pole and catch it on this tripwire hook, and it hits against the trapdoor and causes it to activate, and once every 10 or 15 seconds I catch something. But I can go AFK on this and leave it, and I can log back on tomorrow morning and find this chest back here full of loot. I attained some very valuable enchanted books by just going AFK on this. And this, once again, is also an Avomance design. At least I think it is. I got the idea from his channel anyway. So that's one half of the F. The other half is the feather farm. And it's very straightforward and rather crude. Basically, I take a bunch of eggs and hatch a bunch of chickens in this area, in this pen. And once I pack this pen full of all the chickens I can fit in it, I go in there with a sword and slaughter them all. And I get a lot of feathers and a lot of chicken, and all the eggs that I get while I'm inside that pen, I get rid of them all and hatch a bunch of chicks. And wait for them to grow up, and then I repeat the process. Now I have 3 full chests of cooked chicken upstairs, so I haven't had much of a need for this as of recent times. So the chickens are getting a well-deserved break. Here's that cave system that I ended up clearing. I haven't been in here for a long time. Can't really remember. Okay, yeah. So I'll take you through here. We'll come from the other direction. Yeah. Best to just get out of here. This is my egg farm. I have, as you can tell, a lot of chickens. A lot of chickens above these hoppers. And all of these chests are full of eggs. And if I can take all these eggs out of here, and it'll be full again in about a minute. So maybe we'll head back over to the chicken farm and throw some eggs. I have twin gates so the chickens don't escape. Although a part of me wishes that they might. Let's just load my hotbar full of eggs and go to town. Well, that's pretty good. So we'll to expand on my statement that I made earlier about this compound being built like a layer cake. I have, in some cases, 4 different ways to get to the same place, which is kind of stupid, but I don't really know what to say about that. So out here is my flower garden. It's very informal. And I have kind of a decorative wall back here. And you can see you can see through into my multi-purpose room. Here is the lower level of my drawing room above. There's the redstone door leading out. And here is the back door to my killing zone. Now up here is my original tree farm. I don't harvest these anymore. They've all grown to be very nice, very tall oak trees. So I've kind of kept it around as a park. Now down here is my real underground farm. All these pens used to take up space around my compound, but I've since moved them all into this room. So I have pigs in here, sheep in here, chickens galore, and cows in here. So it's a rather elaborate setup. There is no way that any of these animals can get out, which was a problem that I never really had anyway, but like I said in my first video, I built this base with security as the #1 priority. So over here is just a small little kind of a farmer's cottage. And up here is the Watchtower. Or the Watchtower. So it has a winding staircase that goes all the way up. And while the observation deck used to give a very good view of the compound, it never did give a good view of the expansions that occurred after that deck was built. This watchtower is high enough that it gives a good view of all the corners of the compound. So for instance, over here is the village, and we'll visit that in a few moments. Out here is the yard, and you can see another battle trench down here, and some very tall spruce and jungle trees. Here is my massive tree farm. I'll never run out of wood here. Now there's the mountain that houses my garden, and there's that observation cabin at the top. Now over there is the West Plain, and I have a land bridge that services that, as well as the Minecart Tunnel. And I'll take you there in a future video and show you everything there is to show you over there. And there's a small ocean. Well, it's not really an ocean, it's more of a lake. That when I originally came here, I rowed a boat from my old base over there all the way around the shore, and came to this spot and established the farming outpost that grew into this. Now you can see a yellow glass ceiling over there. That's my shooting gallery. And if you've seen Relaxing ASMR's Realm videos, and you've seen the city Armory, it's basically that without all the armor all the way around it. Same target design. That's when I built that armory, I based it kind of off of that shooting gallery here. apologize if I'm making you dizzy. So let's just get out here on top of the wall. Now these walls are high enough so that skeletons can't shoot up it. They're built with ledges so that the spiders can't get on top of the walls and into the compound. And they're bright enough so that nothing can spawn on the wall and work its way into the city or into the compound. So let's just run around the wall. Here's a view into the front yard. Here's a ladder that goes up into the a room in the XP farm where I can fix redstone if need be. There's the Everwinter Forest and all of its various caves that I've cleared and mined. I became very rich from that forest. And there's my sky bridge that leads from my horse stable to that very long tunnel that runs underground at about that point here, all the way to the shore, and then cuts east to my original base over there. So here's the ceiling of the shooting gallery. And here is the village. Now over here is another house that I built that used to be basically like a vacation home because it was so far away from the compound. But the compound's grown out so much that this house is little more than just another extension. So here's a an entrance to get into the village. I built this platform here to kill phantoms from. I can get their attention, and when they swoop in, I can trap them under the ledge and cut them to pieces. It works very well. I've never had a phantom claim my life in this world. So out here you can see the west yard. You can see the battle trench. Back over there is the original villager hut. There is a small kind of stable where I keep my llamas. This is an elevator. It's, well, Minecraft sense, but it functions as one. Now, for those of you familiar with Relaxing ASMR's survival world, he built an apartment, and I liked his apartment so much that I decided to build my own version of it. So this takes us into my bedroom. Well, this takes us back into the elevator portion. It's basically boats that are sat on signs or sat on water, and you just click up into the next boat until you're back on the wall. So here is my bedroom. And I mined this room out. In the village hall is directly above the ceiling here. So I could only build the ceiling so high. So it's a pretty nice room, if I may say so myself. Through here, I have my Obsidian Bathroom with a bathtub. There used to be an obsidian ceiling here, but I've since placed hoppers because the zombies outside the wall congregate on the highest point, so in an attempt to get into the village, which they can't, but I took advantage of that and built a platform for them to stand on while I kill them, so I get all their flesh that drops into these hoppers. It's not as good as my zombie farm or my XP farm, but it's still pretty productive. So over here is my kitchen area. Not sure why I keep music discs in there, but... And here is my living room. Very, very similar layout to Relaxing ASMR's apartment. Not much of a view. Now, that door just leads back up to the compound. It comes out right just west of the flower garden. And I won't bore you with a walk through there. So this is kind of the south lawn. I've got some spruce trees and this kind of works its way around. There's a turret. So like I said, this was once a mountain and I leveled it. That was a big job. So, but when this was a mountain, this was a battle trench. And this was the back of the mountain, and this kind of looked out. And I was able to stand here and battle monsters that would spawn, because that used to be the wall, and we were outside the wall at that point. And if a creeper came up to me, I could drop into one of these little spots, and he was out of exploding range, and I can pick him off with a bow and arrow. Now the village is here instead of the mountain, so this trench is useless. It just serves as a transportation corridor. And here's kind of a nice little... I have like terraces on every level. So every 3 blocks I have another level all the way along this wall. I wasn't too sure what to do with this little addition, so I just turned it into kind of a little garden area. And here is my new main battle trench. And this works very well. So you can see on the main floor I have those skeleton fighting stations all the way along the main floor, and they work very well. And then where I'm out of range, I just have open terraces. Nothing can get up there, so it's very safe. So there's a door that leads to the old villager hut. There's nothing in there now, so I won't waste your time in taking you through there. Here is that elevated platform where I kill the zombies from. At any given time during the night, there can be 10 to 15 of them pooled on here. It's kind of amusing. Not for them, I'm sure, but it is for me. Now, if I can remember how to get where I want to... Yeah. Down here is another sky bridge that leads to this vacation home. And I built this house blending into the cliff as best as I could, so it doesn't really look like a house from far away. I have a house like this in the realm, and I could drop you down within 100 blocks of it, and you'd be hunting for days and not find it. It blends in so well, a lot better than this one. So down here in the basement, it's not the basement, this is actually below sea level, so you have to step up to get into the harbor. Down here is a mine, and in here is my swimming pool. Complete with a diving board. So it's kind of neat. I know what you're going to say, that's a lot of torches. But like Relaxing ASMR once said, torches are cheap, and light is good. And for someone like me, who is borderline terrified of this game, light is what keeps me sane. So up here is another observation deck. Overlooking the small lake and the sky bridge and the compound. And you can see a few beacon towers in the distance. You can see in the yard, that's a piston staircase. So I can take a boat and literally almost row up these pistons and into the yard. That's how I transport villagers, or did transport villagers, from the village that used to be over there into the villager hut and beyond to the iron farm way, way, way over there. So there's a tunnel that leads to the minecart that services this base, or this house. But we won't go back that way. I'm all turned around. Yes, this tunnel terminates in my chicken farm, or my egg farm room. And this way is my minecart terminal. Let's go to the village. Actually, first, let's go to sleep. I don't like getting caught in thunderstorms. I've had a few of my jungle trees get struck by lightning, and there wasn't really much left of them. So, whenever I hear the thunder, I go right to sleep. I don't take any chances. There are multiple ways to get to the village. We'll just go this way. And I have this village set up so that the villagers can't get out, and nothing except me can get in. Nothing can spawn in here either. So we're standing on top of that old battle trench that once sat inside the mountain. And I made paths and built these houses. They're very basic. Excuse me. Here is the kind of a work area for me. And in here is the community hall. Now, prior to the most recent update, in order to breed villagers, you needed a room like this with a lot of doors. That's my understanding of it anyways. But now, with the new update, I'm pretty sure this breeding program, if you can call it that, is useless. I'm not worried about that because I have all the villagers I need and more. But if you're looking to do this kind of thing, I don't think it works anymore. Hey, buddy. Pardon me. So, one of the favorite places for the villagers to congregate at night is up on the roof here. And the iron golem likes to hang out here as well. I think the villagers like being able to look out over the wall and see all of their old nemesis, the zombies, and laugh at them because they can't get to them and terrorize them anymore. It would be fun to give the villagers snowballs so they can throw them at the zombies, but I don't really think you can. So these buildings are very basic, but they're safe. They have slab roofs, so nothing can spawn on them. And they seem comfortable. I would live in one of these. I've lived in structures that are way more basic than this. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're living like kings, especially considering the fact that this village is quite a ways off of the ground. So nothing can get them in here. Raiding parties have tried and not succeeded. These gardens used to have a wide variety of plants, but the farmers tend to like to plant carrots in here. Over here is the shooting gallery. I can stand wherever I want. I could stand right up here in line with the center of the target and practice my shooting. It's a fun place to be on a rainy day. And if you desire more realistic practice, there are always skeletons to shoot at down here. And this just leads to the jungle tree area. And this is another former battle station. I don't use it much anymore. Now, as far as weapons go, I am very well off. This is my armory, and I'll make it a point of notice that I didn't craft any of this armor except for the diamond armor at the end. All of this was armor that I got mostly from my XP farm as drops. And some pieces carry very hefty enchantments. So I have a wide range of leather and chainmail and diamond and iron and gold. And these chests contain my tools. Got axes, shovels, swords, and pickaxes. And I always make it a point that if I take something out of one of these chests, I craft a pickaxe to replace it or a sword to replace it, and I always keep these chests fully stocked. And through here is the train station. I keep surplus armor in this chest. Stuff that I just don't have enough room for. And this is just a room that I mined out of my compound. Think layer cake. And this leads, there's a door over there that leads into, well, I'll show you. that leads into my jungle tree room. And down here is my harbor. Now I have a boat made of every type of wood. Birch, acacia, jungle, dark oak, and spruce. And trapdoors to get in and out. And this leads out into this creek that leads to the lake. It started out as a cave, but I repurposed it. There's a door that leads to a staircase to one of my mines. And this doorway leads to a staircase that leads back up to where we came in. In here is my dungeon. Every castle needs a dungeon. So I have in the past kept zombie villagers in these cells while I concocted the necessary potions to cure them. And once you're in these cells, you can't get out. So I think that pretty much does it for the primary rooms that don't have anything to do with mining. Well, there is one more room I can show you. Over here, just stop here for a second and take a look at the compound. It's kind of a jumble of different buildings and different rooms, but it's the only home I've ever known in this game. And to be quite frank with you, the giant walls that surround it make it look a lot larger and a lot more impressive than it actually is. So, down here, well, in here and down there is my mushroom farm. This is a mine over here that sits, my underground garden is directly above us. So I mined this room out especially for this mushroom farm. That was a pretty big job. And we'll take the stairs. So the idea with this is take some bone meal and an axe. And I don't, yeah, of course I don't have any mushrooms in this chest, so I can't even, well, yeah, I can take that guy and drop the mushroom onto the dirt. And make sure you stand well back and grow the mushroom. And I can then take the axe and harvest the mushroom, and all the mushrooms are dropped into the water, which washes them into the hoppers. So 12 mushrooms. Just leave those there for now. So here is that rooftop observatory, or the mountaintop observatory, rather. Just creep right up to the edge. And it allows a very good view of my compound. But believe me when I say, there is a lot more to show you. Because you can only do so much above ground in this game. And if I'm perfectly honest, that is probably what I like most about playing Minecraft. I had my opportunity, and still do have my opportunity, to build whatever I want in creative mode in the realm. And we've had excursions where we go into survival mode and kill monsters and clear caves and have all sorts of fun. But as far as where my heart lies in this game, it is in building mines and mining them out, and the thrill of taking a cave back from the monsters and taking all of its resources back to your house where you use them to better your life. That is where it's at for me in this game. And that is why no amount of playing in the realm, even though it's a fantastic place to be, will ever equal the amount of pleasure I get out of playing in this world. It's been my only world from day one, apart from that one night wonder at the beginning. And I love it to pieces. But in the next video is when the real fun will start. Because I'll be turning the monsters back on. And I'll take you into the mines. And we'll have some real fun. So until next time, I'm Izzy the Tiger. And thanks for watching. Happy trails.